Hello and good morning, everyone. This is Preston with iClassPro, class management software. It's a pleasure having everyone join us again this morning for our next webinar in our series. So today's webinar, we will cover both discount schedules as well as tuition schedules. Both of these will be great options for you to configure all of your settings when it comes to discounts and helping those become more automated for you. So just so you guys are aware, I will have Ray and Tabitha who will be on board with today's webinar, and they will be able to help answer any questions that you guys have along the way, as well as in our chat feature. So be sure to pop in along the way if you guys have any questions. Also, today's recording will be available to you. If you would like for a copy of the link, be sure to reach out to our support team at support@iClassPro.com, and you can get a recording of today's webinar. So we will go ahead and get started here. We'll go ahead and pull up a demo account. All right, so we are in our demo account here, and the first area that we're going to look at will be discount schedules. So I've got two test families, and one test family that we'll look at will have discount schedule set up, while the other will have a tuition schedule set up. So you'll notice a few differences along the way, and I'll be sure to, kind of let you know what those would be too. So before we get started, we want to look at the back end and how to set these up. So the first thing that you need to make sure of is in your classes, and we'll look at this from a global standpoint as well as an individual standpoint. But in your class settings, we'll go ahead and click the pencil icon here, and it's in your billing tab that we need to make sure that this right here is turned on. Do you allow discounts? You want to make sure that that is set up for yes. Otherwise, no matter what settings you have on the back end, the discount schedule or the tuition schedule will not work properly. So this is the setting you want to make sure is turned on. Now that's a way to look at it from an individual standpoint, but just so you're aware, if you want to make sure all of your classes or even grouping your classes by certain programs, maybe not your competitive teams or differentiating from competitive to your recreational programs, you may want to group them by selecting, maybe preschool and rec gymnastics. This is just an example for you, but you can group all of your classes together. And from there, you can do a select all and use your classes quick edit tool, which is your pencil icon down here on the bottom left with three dashes. Once you click on the quick edit selected classes, you have the option in here to do allow discounts and set it to yes. And this will be a good shortcut for you to take care of all of those classes at the same time. We won't go through all of these settings, but you can check those out after today's webinar to see what all quick edit tool settings are available. But allow discounts is definitely one of those, and we want you to utilize the best shortcut here. So now that we know all of our classes are set up properly to allow for discounts, now we'll go into our settings. So we go to our profile icon on the top right and drop it down and click settings. On the far left, we'll go to the setup area. First, we'll start in class settings. So in your class settings, we're going to first look at discount schedules. So we'll click the pencil icon here, and we'll take a look at a discount schedule that we have set up. You can create as many discount schedules as you need to and apply these appropriately. You do have to apply discount schedules to your programs in order for them to be quote unquote activated for the type of class that should receive that discount structure. So we'll double click on the one that we have already here for recreational discounts. Now, the first thing that we'll see is in the Details tab. In the Details tab, you can have different ways that you can count classes or hours by, as well as how you count students by and how do you order all of your class tuitions, as well as minimum charge amounts. Now, we'll go through one structure just due to time constraint here, but you'll want to click on the quick help guides to look at the different hypothetical examples that are provided to you by our development team as to how these functionalities will work. So what we are going to look at is simply counting classes and students by one at a time and ordering the students by the most expensive class by default. Now, this is the most important tab here when it comes to calculations, and that is your tables tab. So in the tables tab, you'll notice that students are ordered horizontally, going left to right, while multiple classes or multiple hours of enrollments are ordered vertically, top to bottom. So the easiest way to look at this is student A is the whole vertical column 1. Student B is the whole vertical column 2, and student C is the whole vertical column 3. These would be in representation of siblings within the same family. Now, what we'll do to make this easy, I'll grab a little snippet here so that we can pull this up when we look at how this will activate with enrollments. So here's my family, and here are 4 different enrollments. Now, I've labeled student A, student B, and student C for you to follow easily, and I added a second class for student A. Now, when we look at the snippet here of the discount schedule table, we will take a look at directly how these are set up and how they activate. So the base price of all of these classes is $50. Now, if we look first at student A alone, student A has 2 classes. Therefore, $50 for the first class. They get a $0 or 0% discount. Therefore, we have 0 in that first cell for the first sibling taking their first class. In the second cell down below, this is in representation of the first sibling in a family taking their second class. The second class for student A is $45. They get a 10% off of the $50, which would be $5, giving them a remaining amount of $45. As you can see, it would follow suit and give a 20% discount for a third class if student A was enrolled in 3. Now we'll look at this from the sibling standpoint. So student B is the second sibling. So the second sibling taking their first class would receive a 10% discount. 10% of 50, again, is $5, giving a remaining balance to student B with their first class of 45. Again, following suit, for any additional classes, for the second sibling, it would increase to 20% and 30 for a second and a third class. The third sibling would receive a 20% discount off of their first class. So student C is our third sibling. The third sibling receiving the 20% discount, which is $10 from 50, has a remaining balance of $40. And again, following suit with 30 and 40%. Now, our table cut off at 3 siblings. So what this means is if you were to have a 4th or 5th sibling, whatever you have in the third column is what takes precedence moving forward. So if there's any additional siblings in the family, it just takes from the last remaining column, in this case, column 3. Another important note for you all is that in your discount schedule table, you can technically add dollar amounts as well as percentages. Now, we generally don't recommend, as a good business practice, to put in both dollar amounts and percentages. However, it can be done. The reason why we generally don't recommend this is because it can be a little misleading or confusing for you and your staff on the back end, as well as for your customers on the front end. So, if there is a way for you to keep it streamlined to being all dollar amounts or all percentages, that would be most recommended. The only difference, if you wanted to put in dollar amounts of discounts, would be to take off the percentage sign. As you can see, you can add a row, add a column, or you can add multiple rows and multiple columns to get the table to have as many rows and columns as you need to be able to fill in all of those discounted amounts. Now, like I mentioned before, to activate your discount schedules, you definitely need to attach these to your programs. Your programs are located in your settings under Setup and General Settings and Programs right here. So we'll click the down arrow and we can expand our view up here. So this is where we find any and all programs that we need to attach that discount structure to, and we click the pencil icon and select from your discount schedules. Now, if you have more than one, it will pull up in your list below. This is where you can attach multiple discount schedules to different programs, or I'm sorry, different discount schedules to multiple programs. You can only attach one discount schedule per one program. Once you have it fully attached, it should show up down below in the discount schedule column to let you know what is currently attached if there is anything. If there's nothing attached, it'll simply be blank out to the right. So that is a look at some functionality of your discount schedules. Keep in mind that there are many different functionalities when it comes to how you can count classes and students and dispersing the discounts. You can also look at it from an hourly standpoint. We do have hourly discount available to you in this area where you can program it that way. Similarly, what takes us next into our next topic is going to be tuition schedules. Tuition schedules are yet again another way that you can automate your discount structure, whether it be per class, per sibling, or hourly, just like in discount schedules. So now we'll go again, we're going in the settings under your profile icon, drop it down, hit settings on the far left, click setup. Out to the right, click class settings. Now everything will be housed in the tuition itself. In this case, we would not utilize discount schedules because we're choosing to go the route of the tuition schedule. So we'll click the down arrow. We can create a new one, but I'll go ahead and show you one that we have here. So we'll take a look at rec gymnastics. So you have a rate that it defaults to, but if you click schedule, you'll notice very similar options start to appear, just like we saw in the discount schedule table. How you order students, time slots, classes, and what classes are ordered, etc. Similarly, you have a table. Now you can add multiple rows, add multiple columns throughout your table to make it encompass any and all discount structures that you have in place. Now, you want to think of this in a little bit more of an opposite way of thinking and how you program your tuition schedule. Your tuition schedule is more so a target price. For example, the base price of a rec gymnastics class we know is 60. Why do we know it's 60? Because the first sibling in a family taking their first class shows up here. Now also you can click on rate because you set up the rate here first. But when you click on schedule, Your table is down here. So the difference being, let's just say, for example, I have a dollar amount or a tuition percentage discount that is fixed. So 60 at what we would call a base tuition, meaning the regular price without a discount, at $60 times 2 would be technically $120. But because we put in 110, we can look at this however we want to. That's the beauty of target pricing in your tuition schedule. It just makes it a little bit easier for you and your staff to really get those automated discounts in place without having to worry as much about your percentage necessarily if you're not quite sure, or just simple math. You know that $60 times 2 is 120, and if you want to give a $10 discount, you just put in 110. And similarly, for 3 classes, 60 times 3 is 180. So if you want to give a $20 discount on the third, you know it's 160. Similarly, in your second sibling, maybe you give a $10 discount on their first enrollment. So that $10 discount prices their base tuition for the first class at 50 as opposed to the full price of 60. Same thing for your third sibling. Your third sibling might get a $20 discount on their first class. In this case, they would start out at a base price of $40. And again, you follow suit. So this is just an example, by the way. Of course, you can put in exactly whatever structures you might already have in place, or if you want to possibly rework your discount structure, now could be a time where that might be brought to the table. So this is just an option for you, just to get your wheels churning on different options that we have available. But the second sibling, $50 times 2 would be 100. So we give an additional $10 discount on the second sibling's second class. And then again, following suit all the way down each column vertically. So now what I'll do is I'll take a snippet of this to bring over with us to look at our second sample family. Okay, so now we're looking at this sample family that is using tuition schedules with settings. So to keep it easy, what we'll do is we'll look at student A first, similarly like we did for discount schedules. So student A is column 1 specifically. So student A's first class we see is at the base $60 rate. Student A's second class rather, is priced at the discounted rate of 110. Now separately and additionally, student B is our second sibling, and the second sibling is target priced at 50 for their first class. So now you have student B at $50. Student C is the third sibling, and they are target priced at 40. Now, if student B and student C were to have additional classes, it would again follow suit. Student B's second class would be target priced at 90. Student C would be target priced for their second class at 70. Now, the biggest difference between your discount schedule and your tuition schedule is a couple of things. One, in your tuition schedule, it's all about the target price. How much do I want to charge if this many siblings are in this many classes? Okay, and then you put in the target price. Whereas discount schedules, you do the opposite. You do it from a backward standpoint of, I'm going to give this much of a discount, and then the calculation will pull from your base tuition that's already assigned to those groups of classes, and then look at the amount of siblings in the table and order it based on your setup. So it uses your calculation of a discount, whether it be a dollar amount or a percentage. Now that leads me into one of your other big differences. So the tuition schedule, since it's all about target prices, there is no percentages that can be allowed in this table. It's only whole dollar amounts. Now you'll also notice you can get rid of any of the columns or rows that you need to in the settings. So if you do decide to make changes at any point, wherever your tuitions are assigned, we'll look at tuitions first. Wherever your tuitions are already assigned, anytime we make changes here and we save to update, it will automatically update any and all current enrollments, as well as the settings within the class, whether we make changes to the amounts themselves or if we get rid of columns or rows. You can trash icon here to get rid of columns vertically in representation of multiple siblings or horizontally in representation of multiple class enrollments. Now that's in your tuitions. In your discount schedules, similarly, multiple siblings, if you need to change these, or multiple classes to change here to get rid of, and then again, clicking within each of the individual cells to update those discounted percentages or discounted whole dollar amounts. Now, since we have a little bit of extra time here, I can also show you special discounts that you'll notice is another tab in your recreational, or I'm sorry, in this case, we called it recreational discounts, but it's in your discount schedule table. So this is very specific to this area. This is not available in tuition schedules. Special discounts are a way that you can have specified outside of the norm type of discounts. So you have employee, you have service, and you have member discounts. Early bird is something that you have to set up when you are issuing out your charges, whether it be globally or individually, and you set an early bird cutoff date. Well, if you have an early bird discount in place automatically, it's going to pull from that setting here. As you can see in any and all of these fields, you put in a whole number to represent a dollar amount, or you put in a percentage for a percentage. Now, early bird is tied specifically to charges because you have to have an early bird cutoff date. Whereas employee, service, and member, these are all discounts that you actually have to apply to a family's account to deem them worthy and eligible to receive these discounts, whether they are in addition to the already specified discounts you have in your discount schedule table, or if you don't have any other special discounts and you just give these as is, that's how they would work. Now, if you already had these discounts and you did attach a special discount to a family, it would work in combination. Example, if one family had two siblings, that second sibling would receive a 10% discount off of the second class, being that first enrollment for the second sibling, as well as whatever discount you have in these fields. Employee service and member are already in the template, and there's not a way to update this, but a lot of people do things like military discounts under service. Member could be maybe you just have a specified type of membership that somebody can maybe qualify or pay for, or maybe it's just a long time uh, standing customer that you want to reward for being a member for so long. That could qualify here. And then, of course, employee right here. Now, this is where you set those up in its own separate tab, but where you attach this, and this is by admin only, by the way, this is not available to the customer. So the customer can never select what they are from a front end standpoint. Where you attach this to a family is by finding the family and clicking the pencil icon. Once you pull up the details of a family, you can scroll down and click the View More underneath the email field. Scroll down a little bit further, and here are your special discounts. Now, they're automatically going to be set to no within each field, but you would want to make sure and update this for whatever that family qualified for. And the beauty of this is it stays this way for as long as you have it saved and updated on that family. Anytime you need to make the update, you do have to go back into the family and select no again and save and close. Now, just to show you an example of that early bird, on an individual standpoint, when you're creating a new charge, this is where if you already have an early bird setup, this is where you can state what the early bird cutoff date is when you're issuing a new individual charge. So it's a really cool feature if you do want to reward people for paying, not just on time, but early. Now that's from an individual standpoint, whereas from a global standpoint, if you're issuing global bills, like in your class tuition charges, this is where you would select allow early bird discounts, and then you select the early bird cutoff date. Now, once you issue those charges, anybody who pays before that date will automatically receive either the dollar amount discount or the percentage discount that you put in the early bird discounts under your special discounts tab in in discount schedules. So hopefully that was extremely helpful for everybody today. Thank you again so much for joining us. And any questions that you guys don't have answered right now, or if they come to you later, be sure to reach out to our support team as they're there to assist you. Again, the contact for our support is support@iClassPro.com by email. You can click on the chat bubble on our support knowledge base, support.iClassPro.com, as well as access the support knowledge base for more information on tuition schedules and discount schedules. You can type it into the search field on that site. You can also reach out to our support team by phone, 877-554-6776. And I hope you guys enjoyed that today. I hope everybody is safe right now and getting a lot out of our webinars. I know we're always looking forward to sharing more information and helping you during some unfortunate downtime, but making the best use of the time as well. I'll pass it over to Ray just to wrap up for today. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I'll go ahead and wrap it up for today, but thank you guys so much again for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you next time at our next webinar. Be sure to keep posted on our Facebook post and Instagram, and then as well in our blogs. We look forward to seeing you guys again soon. We hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.